Yo guys, what is up? Battlecraver117 here, and today we are going to be playing Oiligarchy, which is a simulated version of what happens in real life with the oil industry, and it kind of pokes fun a little bit at that. And I discovered this game just looking around, and I thought it was pretty fun, and I thought I'd enjoy sharing it with you guys. So we're gonna hit start, and so I'm just gonna skim through this tutorial real quick. If you guys want to stop, I'll kind of explain it as we go through, and then you guys can play this if you are interested in it, and you can look through the tutorial yourself if you want more information on how to play it. So now that we're in here, I'm going to turn the sounds back on because they're kind of fun and interesting. So right here we have our oil demand, and on the other side we're going to have our amount of oil that we're extracting. The year is 1946. The gross domestic product is at 4%. The world's oil addiction is at 30%. The price per barrel of oil is $10, and I have $4,000 to spend on my oil empire. Now, down here is our little mini map. Currently, we are in Texas, which, if you guys know about the oil industry, there is a lot of oil down in Texas. Now, we have Alaska, which is the beautiful area up north. We have the Washington, D.C. with the White House and Congress. We have Nigeria, and we have Iraq, as well as Venezuela. Now, this game can be a little bit what's the word I'm thinking of? It can be a little bit straightforward and kind of almost mean at times, but it's kind of poking fun at the reality of what actually goes on within the oil industry. So just remember that this is a game and this is not actually real life, and some of the decisions I may make in the game as my evil oil empire are not actually how I feel about the crisis or how I would actually do things if I was an oil producer. But since this is a game, we're just gonna have fun and play, and I hope you all enjoy. So down here in Texas, we are going to explore the land and airdrop in some of our little vibrator trucks that discover the oil underground. So as you can see now, we have an oil reservoir discovered, and our little guy right here tells us that we have a new reservoir. We're gonna, for our small one, we're gonna build a small oil rig to start pumping out this. Now we're gonna place another one on here since we only have a limited amount of money at the moment. And some of the bigger oil rigs cost a lot more. So, in here are statistics of our price per barrel, and as we press this button, which is the next gear, we will, those stats will show how much money we're making, and price per barrel, and other stuff like that. So now we're going to head down to Venezuela over here, and we're going to send in another vibrator truck crew to start looking for oil. Now, since there's a pocket right here, we're going to send down a little oil rig and start drilling here. So we want to get a base ground, probably about 1 or 2 oil rigs per per country to get a good start here. So we're gonna send in another oil platform here, and get that rolling. So now that we have some oil rigs in some of the other places, we're gonna go to the next year. The reason we're not gonna put anything in Alaska or Iraq yet is because these are controversial areas. These controversial areas you have to get passed by the government and Supreme Court, and once you get as the president involved in, if he's pro-oil, then this secret operations room down here will open up and you can start secretly building oil rigs in this area. Now we're just gonna play, see how far we get, and then if you guys enjoy this, I will continue the series and we can build up our oil empire. We're gonna move on to 1947. So we're meeting right now. Our actual extraction, our maximum extraction is all the way up here, but our actual extraction is right on track with our oil demand. And so we're gonna, and we've increased our money a little bit. I'm gonna send in another oil rig here to be to start getting this pocket. So we're gonna skip ahead another year. Now this is a news article, and you can keep up to date with what the world is deciding by clicking on these events tabs. So right now it's the Green Revolution. The year is 1948, and nitrogen fertilizers based on the fossil fuels are predicted to boost world grain production by 250%. And down here it says this will increase oil addiction by 7%. The world is getting more and more addicted as we go on to oil. And we're going to skip another year ahead, and we are going to send in a little some more vibrator trucks, get another oil rig drill. So back at the White House, the year is 1949 currently. The next election year is in 1950, as you can see above there. So right now, my popularity for like oil is 70%. If I see how everybody has gray question marks over their head, that gray representative activity is unpredictable. So they're kind of neither-sided. The eco representatives, the ones that have the world over their head, well, after the election, more and more people will join sides, but they will oppose every pro-oil law. And then the oil representatives will help me push my agenda. So we got places pumping oil. We're going to skip to 1950, excuse me. Winning the war on pests will increase oil addiction by 5%. So that is good, because we want the world to be addicted to oil, because hey, that's more money for us. But so let's click back to our operation Texas. Let's get another oil rig drilling this one. We want to drill Texas hard at first, our maximum production here, because Texas has a lot of oil, and so this will help. This is kind of where our base of operations for our oil empire is going to be, until we can spread out across the globe and start our operations elsewhere. Now we're gonna, so the year is 1950. Once we click this, we're gonna go into an election. An election, we have to pay money to the side that is either, we want to pay money to both sides. Now you have to bribe the officials of the industry to get them to side with you. So you pay a little bit, you want to pay a lot to the side that is most favored in the election, but also pay a sufficient amount to the opposing side, so that you can have friends on your enemy's side, if you get what I'm saying. So we're going to click on the election, and that is a democracy. So we have the Donkey Party, which is 25% popular, and the Elephant Party, which is 75% popular. Now this is a random thing. Every time you play it, it's going to be different. So the Donkey Party could be more popular, or the Elephant Party. So it's not really biased in any really way. So we're going to participate in this, and we're going to pay a little bit to the elephant, and there we go. So we have 3 representatives in the oil industry, and there are still 7 gray representatives and no eco members, and we still do not have the president pro-oil, so we don't have access to the secret rooms. So we a little bit overspent there on the election, which is fine. Once we skip ahead a year, we're going to gain a bunch of money. See, there we go. We have $177 now. So the birth of suburbia. So city dwellers are increasingly moving to suburbs in search of a quiet country. Increases oil addiction by 8%. So we're at 56% oil addiction. And so our operations look like they're running pretty smoothly. As you can see, our money drops a lot since we went into debt there for a year. And so we have our events archive, and so these are the events that have happened over the course of our oil empire. Now we are going to, let's see, these guys are getting 25, I think that's barrels per year or something, which is not too shabby. We're going to click ahead a couple of years. OPEC has been founded. Will increase royalties from the region by 10%, which means we may have to pay a little bit more royalties, and we're not going to get as much money. So, click ahead. Now we have some money to work with. The year is 1956. Our oil extraction is still meeting the standards of the oil demand. We're going to drop in some vibrators, and that looks like they didn't discover anything. We'll scroll over here and send in another one. We got 2 new large reservoirs. So we're going to skip ahead 1 year, and the Greasing the Brakes Act has been passed by Congress. This act has cut the sales taxes in order to defend citizens' right to a never-ending motorized vacation. So this increases oil addiction by 5%. So we're at 61% oil addiction, which is good for our business. Spending some more oil rigs here. Start drilling that lovely black gold. New jobs for Herbaceous Act to create job opportunities for poor animals in the Arctic by establishing an oil extraction industry. Alright. So our operations here in Venezuela are still not very large, so we're still on kind of a small scale here. We're cranking out oil here in Texas, and in Nigeria we've got about 3-4 different oil rigs currently running. So the next election year, let's see, 1960. So let's click ahead. We drink your milkshake act. Reduce royalties from the region by 10. So that reduces the Venezuelan government royalties, so we don't have to pay as much to work there. So after the election, I think we'll be most likely building some more rigs there since the royalties are less. Now we're gonna skip ahead. Hail Highway, an Act 2, an interstate inspired by the Nazis' Autobahn, in order to give everyone freedom to drive faster. Increases oil addiction by 10%. 71% oil addiction. So the world is getting pretty addicted to the rich black gold within the ground, which is good for our oil empire. And so we're gonna skip to and we are participating in the next election. So the Donkey Party is 24% popularity, and the Elephant Party is 76% popular. And there's the end of our election. Since the guy reached the end of the election, so we bid some of our money, and we have 3 oil representatives and 7 unpredictable, which is so nothing happened.